My favorite piece of advice that I give owners, investors, and realtors and people that work in property management is just to educate yourself. Ask questions and ask those questions from a place that you're willing to accept the answers because the answers may not always be what we want to hear. They may not always be the greatest. It may not always be the number that we want to hear, but you have to ask to know. And then once you know, you can make those educated choices.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel, and today I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Stephanie Smith, who is an investment property specialist and a Texas realtor educator. So excited to have you here today, Stephanie.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here and just kind of have these conversations.
Awesome. So let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your work yet, can you share what your main focus is these days?
Primarily, we're focusing on the main aspect of property management. We manage the daily operations of rental properties, single family residential. We're not in multifamily, so we're in single family. So we handle the daily maintenance issues that are incoming. We work really closely with our vendor network to address those and close those out as quickly as possible. We work with our owners. We educate them on what we're seeing in the market trends, stats, comps, so we can get those renewals out to tenants. Right now, we're hyper focused on tenant retention instead of unit turn. The market is pretty saturated here with supply. There's about over a 2-month supply currently on the Austin MLS. So we are wanting to keep those tenants in place and do what we can to keep them in place. But it is hard with, the options that are being built on every corner. You have full-blown rental communities now that are entire communities that, are owned by certain organizations. And it's hard to compete with those when they have resort-style amenities. Trash pickup, valet trash pickup. They have dog parks and coffee bars. So right now we are, battling a lot of those things. But the biggest thing is keeping tenants in place because the expense to move is pretty great. And also the unit turn, the cost for make ready is something we try to avoid and try to keep out of our owners' hands. So primarily focused on the daily operations, keeping everybody happy, keeping the tenant happy, collecting the funds, keeping the owners happy. Everybody's just copacetic.
Yeah. And is this only in the Austin area that you're collaborating with people?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
No, we just had an event last week, and we had owners and operators come in from all over Texas, as far as Midland, Odessa area. So it's a problem that they're seeing out there. It's a little bit different of an issue because their market is a little different. Their demographic is a little different. Here, we're driven by the Tesla, the Dell, the Oracle, the Apple. And so while the individuals that are driving the market in certain areas are different, we are seeing pretty much the same trend across all areas. I spoke with somebody in San Antonio. They're seeing things a little differently on their end because they are a heavy military community. So there's always people moving in and moving out. So they don't have the long vacancy term that we may see in other markets because there's a constant influx of incoming and outgoing.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you typically working with investors through this process?
We do work with investors, and we work with some of the accidental landlords, the individuals who maybe took a job and they had to relocate. So they've put their property up for rent for a few years, thinking they were going to come back. And then, they decide they're going to stay where they were relocated to. So now they've become a permanent landlord, and they explore buying additional properties. So we help them build their portfolio. A lot are just one-off owners. Some have 1 to 3, and then there's the owners that have 5 or more. And those are the investors with little deeper pockets that we don't tend to see as many issues with. Maintenance issues like that seem to not be as prevalent when their portfolio size is larger.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you typically just taking over the property management role for these investors, or yeah, what does the process look like?
So a lot of times we take it over from owners who are moving out, relocating, and we're taking them over from other property management companies. Maybe the owner in a previous management company kind of grew apart. Things started to shift. There could have been increasing in fees over here. So there's a lot of reasons that owners onboard, but we have a really good mix of owners that have vacated, owners that were self-managing, and owners that are coming from previous property management companies.
Awesome. And what do you see as a trend in the market right now in terms of where you see like the rental market heading?
Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in rental prices. The thing with that, though, is prices really skyrocketed during COVID. And so, what some people are thinking is the norm isn't the norm. It was like the COVID norm. So, rental prices are actually coming back down to an average of what we saw prior to COVID. So, while the numbers that you see in different reports, and all the graphs and the charts and everything that you hear are saying rental prices are coming down, they're coming down from the extreme prices that we saw during COVID. We have properties that are $2,800 a month that leased during COVID. Well, now when you do a CMA and you run those same comps on that same house today, you're 2,100, 2,200. And so rates are dropping, but it's a little bit more of they are leveling off. We are coming back to pre-COVID numbers. A lot of people have been called back into the office. So we're seeing individuals move back to the Austin area. So, we're definitely fighting a good fight with that because, of course, owners want to collect $2,800 a month, and management companies want to collect that higher rent because we're collecting a percentage based on that higher rent, but they're not accurate for the market right now. We can't back it up. We can't make those comps work.
Right. And is that something that you think investors are also struggling with right now?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yes, we have quite a few that, basically if they can't get that higher rent, they can't get that 2,800, it's not worth it for them to continue to rent the property. So if they're not collecting that higher rent, a lot of times we're seeing owners just decide to list the property for sale. I say list it for sale because not all of those properties are selling. Those properties are sitting, they're sitting for a long time, and some are coming back to us. Some are sitting on the market 6 months, 6 months. They're not selling. They come back to us for management. So they think it's an out, but it may not always work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are some of the biggest obstacles or hurdles that you're seeing or that you've recently overcome?
I think recently we have really had to overcome vendors. When the cost of things go up in the world, when there's a shortage of parts or supplies, when fuel prices go up, we start to see our vendor prices go up. And while it makes complete sense for a landscape vendor to increase their prices a little bit when gas prices are up, they have to fuel a truck, they have to fuel a trailer, they have to fuel equipment. It's totally understandable. It's a hard ask to pass a lot of those increases on to owners, though. So we're really working closely with our vendor network to do what we can to not increase the prices of goods and services that they provide to us and for our owners. So we have vendors that we try to work with exclusively. So we're giving them a higher volume of work if, they can keep the pricing at more a moderate levels so that it's not such a sticker shock to owners, that we're paying $50 more for a so we're doing a lot of in-house networking and collaborating. And coming up with ideas and just talking with vendors, meeting with vendors, having them come into the office, just a lot of open conversations about what can we do to continue this working relationship so that it works for all sides.
Right. And what are you most focused on solving or scaling to next?
I think we really want to continue to grow. We really want those owners that were DIY owners that were um, they were self-managing. We really want to continue to educate them on, all of the benefits that you get from a property management company, that you get from a realtor, and continue that conversation. Keep putting information out on different platforms. Social media is great. Just putting short videos with just a little bit of education about if this one thing happened when you were self-managing, these are the results that may come from that. So just a lot of education on the benefits of using a licensed realtor. And so we can continue to grow our portfolio, grow our door count, and grow our property management company.
Yeah. And what does the growth phase of the property management company look like?
The growth phase is probably going to be we lose a lot of owners that were accidental landlords, that were owners who couldn't keep up with the cost of maintenance. And so I think we're going to see a little bit of a decline there before we see that rise. And that's okay. It's something we're prepared for. And those owners need to sell. They need to sell. Maybe they can't afford the taxes. There's a lot of variables that come into play there. So kind of supporting them in that, wishing them well, but then maybe they turn around and they refer their friends and family to us. And then we see that growth on the backside at the same time. So we're sad to lose them here. We're parting ways, but if we do a good job and we treat everybody respectfully, then I feel like those are also going to turn into referrals and we're going to see a spike in growth because of it. One satisfied person who you do business with should send you, I think it's 3. I think that was what I read. They should send you 3 referrals. So if that's how it ends up working out, it's a win-win.
Definitely. And what does your team look like as far as property management?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So we have our core team of investment property specialists, and then we are supported by staff that handles renewals. We are supported by staff that handles accounting requests. They handle incoming leads. They may respond to those. They handle a lot of on the back end. They may initially troubleshoot with a tenant on maintenance issues. If they're not able to resolve the issue, then they loop us in and we are able to say, okay, yes, we do need to send somebody out, or the owner has a warranty on this HVAC system. So we have a huge support staff in many different areas that do a lot of things. They are multifaceted. They support us in just every possible way, just to allow that time for us to be more owner facing, and they are more maybe tenant facing, and so they are keeping everything over here on a good steady basis, and we're over here doing the same with the owners.
Yeah. And how do you continue to grow your owner network?
I think we continue to grow. Right now we're just getting the leads organically. They are coming to us online. We are not out there actively really pushing for new business. It's all coming organically through our different platforms and owner referrals. And a big part of that is realtor referrals. That's why it's super important we invest in our relationship with realtors. So they turn around and they refer us the investor that they just sold that property to. So we rely heavily on our licensed realtors that are selling these properties to the investors. So we continue to do that, cultivate those relationships, create that online presence. Of course, everybody loves a good Google review, Yelp reviews, anything like that that really is just promoting you online as a quality and respectable business.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this nationwide as well, or just within Austin?
I'm not sure nationwide. I would think it is. I can really just speak on Austin, but I mean, I think it's a pretty central Texas thing.
Awesome. And so, what advice would you give to investors right now from what you're kind of seeing as you work in property management?
My favorite piece of advice that I give owners, investors, and realtors and people that work in property management is just to educate yourself. Ask questions, and ask those questions from a place that you're willing to accept the answers, because the answers may not always be what we want to hear. They may not always be the greatest. It may not always be the number that we want to hear, but you have to ask to know. And then once you know, you can make those educated choices. You can continue to rent the property. You can sell the property. You can move back into the property. So it's just so much education. And there is a lot of resources available online. We just have to make sure that we are getting our information from reliable sources, sources that are accurate, so that when we make those decisions, we're making, like I said, those educated decisions. But I think the biggest thing is just to keep having those conversations. And some of them are hard. Some of them are hard conversations. Just, keep being truthful and honest. And I think at the end of the day, that is a sign of respect to just be very honest and open with an investor about something, very open and honest with an owner about something, an issue, a problem. I think it's respectable to do that. I know I appreciate that. Just shoot it to me straight, and then I can make a decision a lot easier if I know I have all the information. It's black and it's white. There's not a lot of room for misunderstanding or misinformation because, we have gone through this together. You've given me the facts, you've given me the stats, you've given me the data. That's what I need. And I feel like that's what owners need to continue to make the best choices, is for us to continue to pour that education, those facts, those stats, that data right back into them.
Absolutely. And so, what is the process to work with you and your company?
The process is, of course, you would visit our website and you would click on that you would like to know more. You'd like to have somebody contact you. And we have a great business development team, and they kind of handle that on the front end. They meet with you, come to your property, do a walkthrough, kind of go over everything that's in our PMA, our property management agreement. Make sure it's a good fit. Make sure that what your expectations may be meet what we're able to deliver. And so that's the best way to get to us. And then owners that are currently working with different investment property specialists or property managers, they can always then let them know, hi, I just bought another property down the street, or I'm closing on a property here, and send it right in to you so that you can manage that within your portfolio.
Amazing. Well, before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, and learn more, where can people find you?
They can find us at keyrenteraustin.com.
Okay, perfect. Well, appreciate your time and your story. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And for the listeners tuning in, if you got value, make sure you've subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators like Stephanie who are building real businesses, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.